Alright, so everybody's been asking me how I make my laundry soap. You're going to need a 5-gallon bucket. Mine does not have a lid, so I've improvised by using a dollar store pizza pan as the topper. The first thing you're going to do is get some Snuggle scent boosters. You can get any scent you want. I particularly like this one. They come in these little itty bitty packets. Now, even though these are disposable and they'll disintegrate in the water, you don't want to put it in there because it will give your laundry soap a filmy kind of residue. So I saved one to show, but you're going to take all of them and you're just going to cut the corner of it off. See? And then dump it in your bucket. And you're going to do all of them. So I've already done all of them but one, and it sits in the bottom of your bucket. There's 20 of them in a package. It's going, as you can tell, my nose is running already. After you do that, you want to take your bar soap, which, mind you, in the States, it's usually you can find it at Walmart. It's pretty cheap, but it's an actual laundry bar. This is what we get in Germany. Just buy the cheap ones. And it, as you can tell, it doesn't need to be very big. They do have ones that are a little bit bigger, which is fine. You may get those. I find that they're not as strong as these ones, so you will want the whole bar. And then you're just going to take a regular old cheese grater. And here's where the work comes in. You have to grate that soap bar, being very careful. Every time I do it, I cut myself. And you just want to grate it into a pan to where it's fine little, looks almost like coconut. So after you have this, do your packs, grate this, you're just going to take a regular pasta dish and you're going to add all of your shavings into it. And then you want to add about 4 cups of water to it. Do cold water, because if you do, it'll boil a lot quicker. Mind you, while it's on the stove, some electric stoves that have the round burners do heat up quicker than the glass stoves and then the gas ovens. So you really need to watch it, because if this boils over, as my aunt and my cousin and my mom found out, it stinks really bad and you'll start smelling it every time you cook. So you do want to have it on a higher setting until it starts to boil. I usually stay in the kitchen and do the rest of my ingredients so that way I can keep an eye on it. You want to use either a wooden spoon or a plastic spoon to stir it, because you want that soap to dissolve. And you're only going to boil it until all the soap is dissolved. Now, mind you, it's not going to set as long as you don't overboil it. If it starts boiling and it starts turning too rapid, boiling quickly, and it's making a lot of bubbles, then turn it down a notch. And just keep going until you find that right kind of setting for it. So I'm going to fill my water up now. And unfortunately, my iPad won't follow me, so I just have to fill this up here. Okay, I'll give you guys kind of a look-see as to how it looks here. See, it's in here. I found that the dollar store spoons are the best. You just kind of want to stir it a little bit like this. Make sure you're stirring it slowly, because as you can see, it's already starting to bubble up. And I don't even have it on yet. So I'm going to turn that on, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to show you the rest of the steps. So you can use Arm & Hammer baking soda, but I found the best one, especially for my husband's uniforms and when my son has accidents, that the best baking soda to use is actually the Arm & Hammer baking soda for laundry. And you can usually find this in your laundry department. Obviously, I get mine at the commissary. So it's in the laundry area. I keep mine. They're great. The ice cream buckets work perfect because obviously you're not using that much of it, and it gets hard quick and gets nasty if any kind of moisture gets to it. So these ice cream buckets, wonderful. You're just going to take a 1 cup measuring cup. Make sure, kind of break it up a little bit if there's some little bunches in there. And I just do 1 cup. And you add it right in over your crystal packets that you just emptied in there. And then, oh, my nose is running from the smell of this. Mind you, you're going to want to do this somewhere where you can have an open window. I would not advise doing this in somewhere where it's closed up. I mean, even if it's wintertime, just kind of crack a window a little bit because this smell will get very strong. People can always tell when I'm making my laundry. So while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to come over here, give this a small stir. And then I'm going to come back. Now, the next thing you're going to add is borax. So I guess it's 20-miltene borax. It's a detergent booster. Again, you're going to find it in your detergent area. And you're just going to take, now if you get a little bit more of this, like, so say you're pouring, oh, some spills. Not a big deal. As long as you're not like dumping the whole box in there. And what this is the Arm & Hammer is going to get rid of smells. It gets rid of grease in clothing. Body oils, not like the oil that your body produces, it gets rid of that. The borax is safe for colors, but it does help whiten and it helps wash it a little bit. The laundry boosters that I put in there is for the scent, because if you're sensitive to smells and senses, you do not have to put the scents booster in. That is only for people who are like me, who like their clothes to smell, and kind of want that more clean scent to it. But like I said, do not have to do the scent boosters. So, recap. 20 of the scent boosters cut up and emptied inside. A cup of our Arm & Hammer baking soda laundry, and then 1 cup of the borax. In the meantime, again, we have our water boiling over here. So we gotta stir that again. And it is starting to dissolve a little bit. I'll give you guys a sneak peek here. So as you can see, it's kind of boiling up a little bit. It's dissolving, it's becoming more white. After that gets done boiling, you are going to add extremely hot water to this bucket. What they said to do was get the hottest tap water that you can from your bathroom or your kitchen. And you're going to want to fill it up to almost the brim, because what you want is you're going to take what's in there and you're going to dump it in here. To stir it up, I found what's best is just a plank. Make sure that it can at least touch the bottom of your bucket and have some above. My husband did this one for me. It's just a piece of wood with the athletic tape around it, so that way I can be able to grip it. Make sure you rinse it off before you stick it in your laundry soap, otherwise it's gonna leave it. Yeah. And what you're gonna do is, after you've added the hottest water that you can to this, you're going to stir it, making sure that you scrape the bottom and get all of those ingredients that we've just poured in there. Now some people may say, well, why don't you put the water in there, a little bit of water in there first and then dump the stuff? Because then you get more suds, and when the water adds, it kind of hardens some of the stuff a little bit. So you don't want it sitting there while you're trying to add the rest. You're going to stir it up, making sure that you stir clockwise, then go counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise. And you're going to stir this until everything in here is completely dissolved. Then you're going to add your boiling mixture to this. Lightly stir because that's when it will start to sud. So you stir it for a few more minutes, and then you're going to put your lid on top of it. Just kind of set it on top. And weigh the lid down. That is an important part. You need to weigh the lid down so that it stays shut. It doesn't have to be completely shut, but it needs to stay on there tight. You're going to let it sit for at least 8 hours. So I usually make mine in the evening. I let it sit overnight, and then the next morning you're going to take a hand mixer, because you will have a jelly-like substance on top that'll be about that thick. So I take my hand mixer, put it on medium-high, and you just skim across the top of it and run the mixer and try to break up as much of that jelly stuff as you can. Then again, take your stirring stick, stirring and making sure you're scraping along the bottom of it. Keep stirring until you feel all those chunks are broke up. Once everything is broke up, which usually you have to run your mixer for 3 to 5 minutes, and then you stir for another 3 minutes. Once you have everything stirred up, I found what's best is the gallon jugs of the white distilled vinegar. Unscrew the top, just rinse them out with hot water. Obviously, vinegar's not going to hurt your clothing. And you just fill them up to right about there. It fills up usually 5 of these jugs, which are gallon jugs. That gives you 5 gallons of your laundry soap. Now, if you have a bigger washer like mine, when you do a small load of laundry, it's a 1/2 cup. If you do a medium size, it's 3/4. If you do a large load, it's 1 cup. Now, if you have the new economical washers, then you can get away with using 1/2 cup of laundry soap because they don't take as much soap. Now, mind you, this soap is not going to suds up like normal laundry soap. So when you don't see a lot of suds, don't worry. Each time before you go to pour the laundry soap into your measuring cup to put into your washer, shake it. Shake it really good. Shake it like this. Shake it up and down. Just because as it sits, the water will all go to the bottom. The soap and everything else will go to the top, depending on how much you use. Sometimes it goes the other way. When I don't use the borax and I don't have the laundry bar soap and I may use like the Purex crystals, it'll swap. I don't know, it's the weirdest thing. Anyways, it will separate. So you need to shake it up really good, pour it in, you're good to go. Any questions? Feel free. Hopefully this works. Never really filmed it on my iPad, and I will try to download it on YouTube. If not, I will put it on Facebook. Feel free to share with your friends. Let me know how it works. Show me pictures of what you've done. Do your own video. Comment. Let me know. It's usually a very cheap way to get a lot of laundry soap. Yes, it's a little bit of work in the beginning, but it is so worth it in the end. My clothes have never smelled better. I'm getting stains out of them. I'm not having fading colors. It's great, and it's perfect for people with sensitive skin.